Then said the royal sorcerer to Hatshepsut, with this amulet, you and your descendants are endowed by the goddess Isis with the powers of the animals and the elements. You will soar as the falcon soars, run with the speed of gazelles, and command the elements of sky and earth. 3,000 years later, a young science teacher dug up this lost treasure and found she was heir to the secrets of Isis. And so, unknown to even her closest friends, Rick Mason and Cindy Lee, she became a dual person. Andrea Thomas, teacher.
Almighty Isis.
And Isis, dedicated foe of evil, defender of the weak, champion of truth and justice.
What are you dressed up for this time?
I am the ghost of the past and the spirit of the now.
Could be. You do look a little spooky. Hey, listen, speaking of ghosts, I thought you were going to become one at the Destruction Derby last Saturday. I never figured you'd get out in one piece.
Don't be silly. With all this blubber I carry around, they couldn't hurt me.
I don't know why I bother with you. You're hopeless.
My lovely.
What are you going to do next?
Oh, something worthy of my talents.
Carrie, you are a nut. But you're a million laughs. I'll catch you later.
Later. Nice to know somebody's happy.
Now, if Benjamin Franklin had done this experiment, instead of playing with that silly old kite, he sure would have looked funny. Right, son?
Now here's it. Now here's it. This is your Pied Piper speaking. All you cats who want to go to Hamlin, follow me. Just follow your little old Pied Piper to the land of hamburgers, ice cream, and all that good stuff.
That girl.
Run, do not walk. Last bus to Hamlin, leaving.
What? Something's wrong. Carrie's in trouble. Mighty Isis.
Oh, zephyr winds which blow on high, lift me now so I can fly.
Oh, let's see you laugh your way out of this one, fat kid. Turn back to me. Stop. Isis, wow, thanks a heap. The throttle's stuck and then the steering and the brakes went out. Are you all right? Oh, sure. What can happen to the queen of the uglies?
That's a terrible thing to say. You should stop putting yourself down that way.
A person's gotta be realistic.
You're not being realistic, you're just being foolish. You can't expect other people to like you unless you like yourself first.
Unless you know where I can get a body transplant. What's the like?
Your mind, your sense of humor. You always keep the kids laughing.
And as soon as it stops, the guys go off with the chicks. You know, the ones that look great in bikinis. Nobody cares if they got a mind.
Carrie, you are an intelligent girl. Believe me.
I'd rather not be so intelligent. If I could just be a little prettier.
I brought some of my special homemade fried chicken I had left over from last night, and some potato salad.
Sounds great.
I have a couple of deviled egg sandwiches and a cucumber salad. What did you bring, Rick?
What do you mean, what did I bring? You guys invited me.
Invited you? Well, we just said, why don't you have lunch with us?
Well, if that's not an invitation, what is?
All right. You can have some of my chicken. I suppose you can have one of my deviled egg sandwiches.
You are two wonderful human beings. That's what you are.
You know something, Mr. Mason? I think you ought to get married.
I'm going to.
You are? When?
As soon as I find someone who looks like Isis and cooks like you.
If that's your attitude towards women, you're going to end up a very old and hungry bachelor. Not to change the subject or anything, but what are we going to do about Carrie Anson?
Well, why don't we just leave her alone? It looks like she's having a good time with Greg.
She's a very unhappy girl, Rick. Carrie thinks of herself as a big fat zero, and I'm not trying to be funny. That's why she keeps putting herself down. It's her way of saying, hey, look at me, I'm a person.
Well, what do you want to do about it?
Listen, see if this makes any sense. The elections for student body president are coming up, right?
Right.
What would happen if, quote, spontaneous, unquote, campaign started to get Carrie elected? Great idea, Cindy. That should convince her that people really like her and respect her for being just herself.
Say, Greg's in one of my classes. How about if I slyly insert the idea into his head about starting the campaign?
Fantastic! That kind of thinking is worth 2 pieces of chicken any day. And a deviled egg sandwich.
Marvelous.
That's a super idea, Mr. Mason. I wish I'd thought of it.
Oh, my blessings on you, my boy.
You know, maybe it's the wrong word to use, but I've always been impressed with Carrie.
Well, Carrie's a very impressive gal. She does hide her IQ, though.
Yeah, but, well, sometimes I'm almost a little afraid to talk to her.
How come?
Well, you get too serious with her and she starts to clown around. It's like she doesn't want you to get too close to her.
You know, I know what you mean.
You know, and the way she talks about herself? Carrie Anson, the female Moby Dick, Miss 20th Century Ugly. Boy, you know, it's going to be tough to change that image into a contender for student body president.
Do you think you can do it, Greg?
Sure, Mr. Mason. Hey, I even know what our campaign slogan's going to be. Vote for Carrie Anson for student body president. Anything for a laugh.
Okay, I'll see you later.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, what'd you expect, dummy? That anybody would really think you were good enough to be student body president? And if I am elected, I promise I will have...
Quit fooling around. This is an important speech.
Look, nobody's going to take my running for office seriously, including you.
Are you kidding? Of course I take it seriously.
Okay, then wait till you see my new idea. Turn your head, don't peek until I've blown it up. You're gonna love this.
I'm sure.
Okay, wait. All right, now, look, turn around, look, ta-da!
Vote for the candidate who looks like this.
Neat, huh?
Carrie, when are you going to stop doing this?
Doing what?
Putting yourself down.
Aw, come on, Greg, it's just a joke.
I don't think comparing yourself to a balloon is funny.
Okay, you don't like that? How's this for an idea? I challenge my opponents to an eat-a-thon.
A what?
An eat-a-thon. We line up 500 pizzas on the school track, and the first one to eat his way to the finish line wins.
Carrie, you're impossible.
And if you don't like that, I've got an even better idea. You see, what we do is...
Rick, this is the 3rd time you've invited us to go boating, and this is the 3rd time we haven't even left the dock.
Is this boat glued to its slip?
You don't understand. Half the fun of boating is the preparation.
Fun for who?
For whom?
Okay, fun for whom?
Look, all of this preparation is very necessary, and I promise both of you that the next time we come out here, I'll take you out into...
Rick, there's not going to be a next time.
Your slaves have just emancipated themselves.
I know what both of you need. A nice cold drink.
It's gonna take more than a cold drink to straighten out my sore back.
Cindy, You and I are two fairly intelligent young women. How did we let him con us into this 3 times in a row?
Just lucky, I guess.
There, now you relax and enjoy that. And I don't want either one of you to dare do one lick of work for at least 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
He's been out in the sun too long.
How's Carrie's campaign going?
Not too good, I'm afraid.
She seems to have this picture of herself as a washout. She just can't get rid of it.
Well, Greg's working really hard. I know that for sure.
I hope he can help her break through that barrier she's built up.
Amen to that.
Well, time's up. Let's get back to work. Hippity-hop. Hey, wait a minute. Where are you going? Come back here. That's mutiny. Hey, Carrie, hold it.
Hi, manager. How's the campaign going?
Well, according to my latest unofficial poll, we're gonna lose, and for only one reason.
Nobody's gonna vote for me.
Carrie, you could have this election locked up if you wanted to.
Well, come on, Greg. I know you never really believed I stood a chance.
You do, huh? How do you know that?
I just know, that's all.
Why do you think I've been beating my brains out?
Laughs. What else? Like me.
Well, thanks a lot for wasting my time.
Miss Thomas? Carrie, you got a minute?
Sure, come on in. What can I do for you?
Well, do you think you could talk Mr. Mason into lending me his boat?
I think it would be easier talking him to lending you his right arm.
I know, but I got a great idea for a publicity stunt.
Carrie, you know the Star Tracker is his pride and joy. And I'm afraid he already knows all about those publicity stunts of yours.
Miss Thomas, it's awful important. I just gotta have that boat. Will you ask him?
Okay. We're playing tennis later, and I'll ask him. But I can't promise anything, so don't count on it.
Thanks. Thanks anyway.
Okay. See you later.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rick.
No tennis?
Yes, of course, but Dr. Barnes caught me just as I was leaving. I'll go to the girls' gym and change.
No, that's all right. I just got here myself. There's a storm coming in, and I wanted to make sure the boat was secure.
Speaking of your boat.
Do you know who I almost ran into? Well, actually, it was vice versa.
Who?
Carrie Anson. She was coming into the marina just as I was leaving.
Rick, Carrie asked me if I would ask you if you would lend her your boat.
You're kidding.
When I said I didn't think you would, she seemed very upset.
Well, you're absolutely right. I wouldn't think. You don't think she... I better check on the boat.
Right.
Almighty Isis.
Oh, zephyr winds which blow on high, lift me now so I can fly.
Mayday! Mayday! This is Carrie Anson aboard the Star Tracker 2. Mayday! Mayday!
Star Tracker, this is the Coast Guard. What is your position? I say again, Star Tracker, we read your mayday. Give us your position.
That doesn't make every newscast in town I don't deserve to be student body president. Now, just one more thing. Mr. Mason, I owe you a new microphone.
Star Tracker, this is the Coast...
This is like looking for a needle in a haystack. There's a storm moving in. We'll have to find Carrie before it hits.
I
I guess it's time to head back now.
Oh, no!
Cindy,
You're really late.
where's Andrea?
I thought she was with you.
Oh, wouldn't you know it? Every time there's an emergency, she disappears.
What emergency? What are you talking about?
Oh, come on, I'll tell you on the way to the marina.
Where can she be? If I don't find her soon. There she is.
Isis, thank goodness. I can't get the motor started, and there's a leak in the boat. I pulled a really dumb stunt this time, and I'm in a lot of trouble.
More than you know, Carrie. There's a storm coming in, and I can't help you here and stop the storm. I'm gonna need a little help on this one. Tut, hear me, and take to flight. Now to find Captain Marvel. There he is. Tut, bring Captain Marvel. I need him. Fly due west. Hang in there, Carrie. Help's on the way.
Thank you, Isis.
Now to see about holding off that storm. Oh, zephyr winds which blow on high, lift me now so I can fly.
Looks like a little housework is needed here. Tut, what is it? Did Isis send you? Does she need me? Which way is she? West of here. All right, Tut, I'll take care of it from here.
Until Captain Marvel arrives to help Carrie. Oh, mighty storm that rolls so free, now roll back and calm the sea.
The storm seems to be letting up. Of course, that's it. Isis can't hold back the storm and still bring the boat in at the same time.
Captain Marvel!
Isis sent for me. Now let's see about getting you out of here.
How to thank you, Captain Marvel.
I do. Just don't get into a situation where I'll have to do this again.
And you, Isis.
Same goes for me. Just don't do it again.
Oh, don't worry. I've learned my lesson. 2 lessons. If people like you and Captain Marvel and Greg can go through what you did just for me, well, maybe I'm not as worthless as I thought.
Good girl, Carrie. What's the second lesson?
No more crazy stunts like this, ever.
I think you'll have some explaining to do to the Coast Guard. False distress signal is a very serious matter.
I know. It was a dumb thing to do.
Well, anyway, you're safe and the boat's safe. And let me tell you, I'm glad about that because I put a lot of work into that boat.
You? You put into it? Well, what about me and Andrea?
Speaking of Andrea, she missed all the excitement again. You know, Isis, I'm beginning to think that Andrea's afraid of you. I mean, you are pretty rough competition for a woman.
Really? What would you think of Captain Marvel as competition for a man?
Cindy and Carrie, why don't I give you a ride home?